Good morning. Thanks for that cheery greeting. Welcome to this place of peace, justice, and hope. In this Unitarian Universalist congregation, we affirm that no matter who you are, whom you love, or where you are on your journey, you are welcome here. For those of you joining us online, we are so glad you're with us. If you are visiting with us today, we invite you to sign our visitor book. And if you would like to join us for coffee hour downstairs, if you'd like, feel free to take a green mug. You don't have to, but you could take a green mug so that we can be sure to greet you. Also, members and friends, to help folks connect, remember to wear your name tag with your pronoun stickers. If you need a new name tag, you can request that in the living room back at the visitor's desk. I'm Julia Beckman. My pronouns are she and her. I'm pleased to be with you today as your worship associate. Our music today will be provided by the great Jamie Passman.
Who had to play left-hand bass last night with a really bad band. It's a long story.
So he's so glad he's here, actually, yes. Yes, our music today will be provided by Jamie. We'd like to thank you for placing your phone in worship mode, but please do feel free to check in on social media and let folks know you are worshiping here today. Childcare for children under the age of 5 is available in our playroom located in the lower level of the religious education building across the alley. Youngsters are welcome to join the play group when the older children are sung out to religious education, but please know that all ages may remain in the service. All voices are welcome here. There's always a lot going on around the church, and you can read all about it in News and Notes, which arrives in your inbox every Friday, and there are printed copies available downstairs. If you'd like to receive News and Notes in your inbox, stop by the welcome table, again in the living room at the back of the church, and sign up for it. We have a couple of announcements, and one very important announcement later. The UU Animal Ministry is meeting today at noon in room 6 across the alley. And Beds Plus, an organization serving the unhoused, which we support, will be packing meals next week. And we're in need of microwavable meals and small bags of nuts. So if you bring those and then help pack them up next week. And I believe Chris is here, yes, to give us a very important update.
I just wanted to say thank you all on behalf of the stewardship campaign for being all in, for all of you who have completed your pledge form so far. And today is the official end of the campaign, so you won't see me haranguing you anymore. But I just want to remind you that if you have not turned in your pledge form, you can do so. The forms are in the back, right in front of the fireplace, so please do so. And once again, thank you all who have, and thank you all who are considering it, and we really appreciate all your support, so thank you.
Thank you, Chris, for yours and David's leadership of the stewardship campaign, and for all of you who've been able to complete your pledge. And just to reiterate, as Chris said, it is never too late. And I want to add my welcome to that of Julia. I'm the Reverend Dr. Beth Johnson. My pronouns are she, they, and it is good to welcome you on this very confusing, almost spring day. We've got sun, we've got snow, we've got cold, we got it all today. I want to begin by acknowledging that we here in this congregation and in the western suburbs inhabit areas that are the traditional territories of the indigenous peoples, including Kickapoo, Peoria, Potawatomi, and others. As people trying to live into a more just world, we have a responsibility to acknowledge the history and legacy of colonialism, the harm done to Native peoples, and also to work to repair that harm. I want to just call your attention to the beautiful photo that you see on the slides, and let you know that all of the images, other than some of the backgrounds and one other image, were photos sent to me by Bob Daniel Wayman. And if you don't know Bob, wave your hand, Bob. No, that wasn't high enough. I asked Bob if he had some spring photos, and he said, yeah, I have some, and then he sent me 101. And I was like, how do you expect me to choose? So thank you, Bob, for the beautiful gift of your photography. And Bob is also the president of the board, so thank you. It is good to be together again. It is a beautiful day whenever we get to gather together. We gather knowing that together we're more than we would ever be alone. You rushed here from the busyness of your day or your morning, and here we are. And so I'm going to invite you to join me in our opening song, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. In our hearts a lot today. As we enter into worship this morning, I want to acknowledge that along with the beauty of spring, the joy of St. Patrick's Day, that it is also the day of St. Gertrude of Nivelay, who is the patron saint of cats. There you go. She never gets her props because it's St. Patty's Day, and as an Irish person, I get it, but as a cat lover, let's give St. Gertrude her due. Also want to acknowledge that we are in the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. It's the time when our Muslim siblings take time to renew and concentrate on their relationship with Allah, and a time for spirits to grow stronger in God consciousness through the discipline of fasting from sunrise to sunset. While many people know that there's more to the holy month of Ramadan than just fasting. It's a time to break unhealthy cycles, develop new wholesome habits, a time to purify the mind, body, and spirit. While not associated with spring, because as you know, it travels through the year, I'm reminded at this holy time of the renewal of the spirit that comes with intentional practice. My prayers are with my Muslim siblings here in Gaza during this holy month. Just as our Christian friends are deepening into their practices of Lent, which isn't about deprivation, it's about connection. So as we draw from many sources, we name the sources that we bring among us, that we have among us as Unitarian Universalists. Now I invite you into worship with words by Evan Carvel-Ziemer. Our souls speak spring. If we lived in another climate, our souls might speak other languages. We might speak oasis or permafrost, dry season or monsoon, but our souls speak spring. Our souls speak green shoots pushing through last year's leaves. Our souls speak flower buds stretching to the sun. Our souls speak mud puddle and nest building, damp earth and worm castings, tiny green leaves and frog choruses. We speak spring because spring sings in us. We gather to nurture our faith in our growing, our own courage to push through, our own blossoming in beauty, our own small part in the spring of this world. Come, let us worship. It is good to be together. And I, for one, am so glad you're here. So I'm going to invite you to sing again. I'm so glad I'm here. Come on, rise and body your spirit. Here you go.
It's me, right?
Yeah, it's you.
We light our chalice with these words, actually written by Reverend Beth. Dear flame, you are so like spring, bringer of light, beacon of hope, symbol of faith. We cherish this time of new beginnings. Spring brings fresh possibilities, a moment of balance, new life bursting forth. May the promise of spring reach to all who are in need of rebirth, in need of light, in need of hope. We light this chalice with gratitude for this day. May we be spring for those near and far.
Thank you so much. So we're going to share our joys and sorrows together as a multi-generational community. So I'm going to come on down. Everyone to share joys and sorrows. Our children, if you have a joy or a sorrow, please feel free to come up. In my last congregation, we called it Sugar and Spice. So you know it as joys and sorrows. If y'all have a joy or a sorrow, something that is laying on your heart, this would be the time to do that. So just going to invite you to take a breath with me first. Just breathe in and arrive to this place in this time with these people. Yeah. Knowing that we come with things that weigh on our hearts and things that make our hearts sing, just like the birds that are so busy at this time of the year. This is the time to create a container wherein we acknowledge the community that holds us, that shares with us. If you have a joy or a sorrow, something that you'd like to share with the congregation, you're going to come up and do it on this side. I want to remind you that you can drop a pebble in silence, and you can go ahead and, in a word or a phrase, just bring us into where your heart is at this moment. So if you'd like, you can come on forward.
I'm Kathy Knoll. I passed the vision test on Thursday, and I've got my car back.
4 years ago this week, the world shut down, but not this church. My lovely wife, Suzanne Williams, and Jamie Passman, and Jean Schaefer, and Alex Dvorak made sure that we've got video. We started on Zoom and now on YouTube, so that we never stopped seeing each other.
I'm Susan. I'm dropping a stone for my darling daughter who grew up in this church, Anna, who turned 32 earlier this month. I'm still kind of trying. Pam's like, no way. I'm like, no way. And the other stone is for a very dear friend who's dealing with some pretty significant health issues.
Alex, can we have maybe a little bit more on the mic?
I'm Keith, and this is for my sister-in-law, Carol, who passed away last month after suffering from complications of diabetes and kidney failure. May she now rest in peace.
Continuing on the theme of community, I'm Tony, and for the many years I've been part of this church, I've found myself reflecting on each and every one of you who I've known for so many years, and raising children here together, and just all the people I've met. I'm really thankful for this community.
Paul had a pacemaker put in. His heart went down below 60, and the pacemaker chimed in. It's amazing. It's just amazing to me what that does, that pacemaker, and what they can do these days. Last week I mentioned when I was up here as worship associate that we've been married 57 years, and the sober says no. And I thought that's right. So I listened to the Zoom afterwards, and you're right. I said we were married 57. It's been a long 67 years. Not 57.
Can you imagine? What love, what determination, what friendship. Thank you.
I just realized a few moments ago that this will be a year since I first attended at UCH, and I'm really, and I'm still here, really grateful for everything and everyone that I've encountered. And on the flip side, my dad is going through some serious issues. So I'm just gonna, just keep him in your mind. Oh, I'm sorry, his name is Ed. Okay, thanks.
Good morning, I'm Kathy Volser. My husband Jeff and I lost our 19-year-old cat on Tuesday.
I'm sorry.
My name is Joe. I have two things. On Wednesday, my wife got to ring the bell at the cancer center. It was a long, hard pull, but we got there. On the very same day, I turned 80.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. So many of you have supported me through my very long journey back from surgery, from wheelchair to walker to cane to ta-da! And I've had motivation because on Friday I'm going to Germany to visit my relatives and celebrate 3 birthdays. One is 98, one is 90, and the other one is probably my age, so like 68, 70. So that was my motivation for getting off the cane.
Fabulous, fabulous. Just in the year I've been here, oh my goodness. For all the joys and sorrows, those spoken and unspoken, will you hold with me a moment of silent reflection? Spirit of life, Spirit of love, and our companion in death, sorrow, joys, loves, losses. We pause in this moment, acknowledging all that we've heard. Celebration of community, of love, the magic that happens when people gather week after week, month after month, year after year, building community, building relationships. And for all who enter this place, whether the first time or for over 60 years, know that there is a love that has never broken faith with you and never will. It is the love that called forth the universe, the love when we take our last breath that welcomes us. And in the meantime, as we breathe in and out, noticing the breath in this moment, feeling the joys, the celebrations, the concerns. With each breath, be reminded that you are not alone. You, no matter who you are held in love and mystery deeper than you can know. Breathe. In a moment, I'm going to keep that slide up for a minute. In a moment, we're going to sing a chant, and we're going to sing it while it sings us. It's called Return Again. And we're going to sing that, and as we do, Dave and his comrades are going to pass out seeds. They're very special seeds. They are milkweed seeds, and milkweed seeds are a little flaky. I have honestly never seen a milkweed seed in my entire life. In San Diego, I planted milkweed because I waited. How many of you have milkweed? Yeah. Oh. All the hands went up. Because this is what we know. It's the only plant that monarch butterflies lay their seeds on, and we know how important that is. So as this day, we are celebrating and acknowledging the beginning of spring, which will happen later this week. So we're going to journey through the Celtic wheel of the year as we have been, and I'm going to talk more about that in just a moment. And this is a time when we're going to return again to the soul's journey, the home of our soul. Because, beloveds, this life, we have jobs, some of us are retired, we go to school, we get married and stay married for 67 years, oh my goodness. We have cancer, and we survive. We turn 80, we lose. All of that, for me, is the soul's journey. It's a psychological journey as well. But we are changed and transformed with all of the life events that we participate in. And that's what we are doing for this whole year, is looking at how we can engage the cycles of the season to give us an opportunity to learn how to travel those times soulfully, no matter what time of the year it is. And this is spring. Little snowflakes notwithstanding, spring is going to come. Cold notwithstanding, spring is going to come. Pam assured me that it will. As we run back and forth without our coats, I realized that I finally became a real Chicagoan when I've been walking around without my coat. It's like, what? So in a moment, we're going to, as we sing, Dave and his pals are going to pass out these seeds. Again, they're little fleeky ones, so you're just going to hold them in your hands. And what I'd like to do, if we have children who would like to come forward, you can come on forward up here if you'd like to join, or anyone else would like to join in the front row. You can do that. And I'll make sure, otherwise we'll make sure that everyone gets seeds. So in a moment, we're going to sing Return Again. Return again. Return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Because that's what this time is about. It's about rebirth. And even being born again and again. So I'm going to invite you to sing with me, and as you hold your seeds, just feel their lightness and even feel the possibility. So sing with me. I said, to feel the lightness of them. Feel the softness. Take a look at the seeds. Little, small. You could blow them away, and off they would go, gone. And yet, they contain life. These seeds contain possibility. For the milkweed, yes, of course, for the milkweed. The seeds contain also the opportunity for you to consider what it is, what seed is stirring in you in this time. What can this seed represent for your life? If you'd like to, you can close your hands around the seeds or just touch them. And just take a breath with me. Breathing in and release. Breathing in the possibility of hope and renewal that this time promises. Breathing in and then out and release that which no longer serves you. Breathing in. What is it that you wish to plant in your life at this time? What is it that will stir in the ground and push up like a green shoot? Bringing with it your dreams, your insight, your wisdom. Take a moment. Breathe. What possibilities promise? What stirs in your imagination as you hold these seeds? Know that you are a planter of hope and love. Even if you don't have a garden where you can plant plants, you know that you are planting seeds wherever you go of love and of hope. And yes, beloveds, no matter what, even of joy, despite whatever happens, even in our own lives, which can challenge us and around our world. Unbelievably, trees are budding. Babies are being born. Flowers are blooming in this outrageously gorgeous riot of color. Take these seeds, hang on to them, and know that within you lies the seeds that you wish to bring forth in your life. And I want to let you know, for those who are interested, Dave brought seeds, packets of seeds for those of you who would like them and can plant them. There's milkweed and Joe pine weeds, seeds, not weeds. But I personally love weeds, so they're just plants that nobody likes. So in a moment, we're going to sing our children out to their classrooms, and I think you have more seedy things going on over there, don't you, Pam? In a seedy and a seed way. I invite you to join me in singing our children out to their classrooms.
This is a reading, Here is a Day of Promise by Robert Weston. May it be so with me, with you, with everyone. The gray clouds scudding overhead, the storm clouds, rain, and the breaking sunshine. The apple blossoms bursting in pink and white. The children gleefully running out to splash in puddles. The grass green, and the buds straining into leaves on shrubs and trees, and the birds singing joyfully in the dawn, strutting the lawns as proud possessors. Everywhere life, life bursting through all fetters, and the heart singing, protesting against gloom, shouting its defiance of clouds and cold, the gay heart exulting in storm and sunshine alike. This is a day that aches with the promise of life, life which will not be denied. Let all hearts swell with glad acceptance, joyful with the sense of always becoming. For out of earth, into the air and sunshine, out of ourselves, there rises the Spirit in us all. Neither dark nor threat shall thrust it down. It rises irresistible in us. This is the season's gift. Thus ends the reading.
Thank you, Julia. I love this reading. This is the soul's journey. Beloveds, spring is finally here. I know it's here because the trees are budding, as we said, and all we have to do is go out and look at our trees and our lovely grounds. The crocuses are showing off their extravagant purple, and there was a bunny munching grass outside my house the other day, and I suppressed a squeal of delight because I was afraid they would hear me from inside the house. At springtime, I find myself filled with gratitude for the beauty and the wonder of life, for the warmth of community, for the opportunity to serve and to extend that service to the work of justice making. Despite everything, my joy overflows. This is the season, as we said, of hope and renewal, so I embrace joy, despite the hurts in our world and even in our life. And I invite you into this season of joy and hope and love in this season of rebirth. I invite you to open your hearts to the gift of the season. This spring has come. Unbidden, blessedly, it returns with the lengthening light and the promise of new life, new growth, new possibilities, new risks, new work, more love for the world. What a time it is to be alive. Since October, as a congregation, we've been cycling the spiraling year together by marking the holidays of the Celtic Wheel of the Year. A variety of people from different traditions live mindfully through the wheel. Neo-pagans, mystics, Christians, philosophers, deep ecologists, process theologians, eco-feminists, scientists embrace living consciously through the spiraling year, as doing so awakens and enlivens our connection to the earth, our home. It deepens the insights that come from experiencing and understanding the cycles and seasons of our own lives. Journeying through the wheel of the year can be a profound spiritual practice that prepares us and deepens us for our life's journey. If you're visiting today or haven't been here for the other services or a while, I'm happy that you're with us and you're welcome on this journey. This road has room for us all. While connected to the seasonal shifts, as I mentioned earlier, I see this as soul work, a psycho-spiritual journey that is both inward and outward, embodied, enriching, joyful, challenging. It's a journey we take consciously and from which we learn insights into who we are, into how we might become. Carl Jung wrote, "We are all badly in need of the symbolic life. Only the symbolic life can express the need of the soul, the daily need of the soul." And for me, this is the why of the journey. So in the cycles of the wheel of the year, the lessons come from, as I said, understanding ourselves as part of life, not separate from the rest of nature and the other animals that we share this journey with. Held in the cauldron of transformation, first we journeyed inward at the Celtic New Year, Samhain, on October 31st. And there's the wheel. I know it's a little small. How about if I send this out in news and notes and you can get a better glimpse of it? We entered the dark time into the time of sacred wisdom, to stillness and contemplation. Do you remember back when we lost the light, and then the light and it decreased and the dark increased? Remember how that feels? How it feels in your body and in your spirit? At that time, we honored our ancestors by building an ancestor altar. It was an invitation as well to reflect on what your soul yearned for, to connect with your inner wisdom. And if you weren't here, or forgot, or would just like to do it again, can you think about your own inner wisdom? It's what I call your knower. Now, sometimes I'm up here, mostly my knower is right. My knower is right here. And then it tells me stuff here. The place in you that knows. We journeyed there just like we do at various times of our lives. We enter dark places, as you all know. And there, sometimes we find nurturance and rest. Or we enter dark times and struggle with the unknown, with fears, uncertainty, and loss. Next week, there'll be an exploration of the dark night of the soul, even though it's spring. That, beloveds, is the soul's journey. It comes unbidden, unexpected, and in the dark time of the year, traveling the wheel is where we gain the wisdom that prepares us for those inevitable times of deepening dark, which is also a redeeming dark. It leads to transformation, whether we want it to or not. And whenever you have need of it, that place of stillness calls to you to come, breathe, go in, connect, allow yourself to be embraced by dark, finding what you need for the journey. 6 weeks later, at the winter solstice, still steeped in darkness, we nonetheless dared to claim the spark of light. We journeyed inward to discern what it was that we sought to give birth to with the new light. You received inspiration words for your journey to guide you and give you insight into your lives. And for those of you who missed the words at the winter solstice and at Imbolc, there's words. You can have a word if you want, if you missed it. But if you don't like your word, you don't get to get another one. We'll talk about that later. For those of you who did get a word, do you remember it? Have you noticed opportunities to engage with it? For those of you who weren't here, can you think of what it is that you seek to transform in your life? The spark of possibility? Trust that you know what you need. 6 weeks ago, we traveled the wheel and turned the wheel again for Imbolc, the Celtic festivals associated with Bridget, whose symbols are the well and the flame, and turn us towards healing. Marking the beginning of the spring quarter, we once again saw transformation in our creative depths. Like seeds stirring in the ground, our journey brought us toward that in our lives which we would like to heal or change. Do you remember what called you for healing or what calls you now? What's stirring in you, luring you to your creative depths? The wheel has turned once more this Tuesday at 10:06 p.m. Central Time. The vernal equinox will occur. There'll be a pause, and for one moment, there'll be balance between light and dark. Spring arrives, tipping us toward light, and with it the promise of new growth, new paths, new ideas, the promise again of rebirth. The poet John O'Donohue, how could I actually not read John O'Donohue on St. Patrick's Day and in this service? He's my soul poet. Within the grip of winter, he writes, it's almost impossible to imagine spring. The gray parish landscape is shorn of color. Only bleakness meets the eye. Everything seems severe, edged. Winter is the oldest season. It has some quality of the absolute. Yet beneath the surface of winter, the miracle of spring is already in preparation. The cold is relenting. Seeds are waking up. Colors are beginning to imagine how they will return. Then imperceptibly somewhere one bug opens and the symphony of renewal is no longer reversible. From the black heart of winter, a miraculous breathing plenitude of color emerges. The beauty of nature insists on taking its time. Everything is prepared. Nothing is rushed. The rhythm of emergence is a gradual, slow beat, always inching its way forward. Change remains faithful to itself until the new unfolds in the full confidence of true arrival. Because nothing is abrupt, the beginning of spring nearly always catches us unawares. It is there before we see it, and then we can look nowhere without seeing it. Walking outside of church, and I think I wrote about it a couple of weeks ago with the daffodils. They were just there. I'm like, oh, hello, daffodils. This is the time associated with the goddess Ostara. Symbols from nature that are associated with Ostara are rabbits and flowers and seeds. As Christianity spread through Europe in the Middle Ages, many of these symbols became synonymous with Easter, including the association with the Teutonic goddess Ostra, from which the name Easter is derived. Now, these themes are both ancient and fresh, revealing truths, disclosing truths about ourselves and our lives and our journeys. But traveling the wheel of the year is, as I said, inward and outward. A journey of transformation is here and now. And it's not just about the renewal of nature itself, although we're very grateful to witness the renewal. It's about how we learn from the rest of nature to experience these cycles consciously in our lives, the times when shadows envelop us, the times of growth and renewal, the times of fullness, back to rest, to go deep once more. We live in and through the cycles of life. And of course, they don't always follow the seasonal rhythms. I'm always reminded that the cycles are always with us, always present, right now, as new moon follows dark moon, as dawn follows night, as the in-breath follows the out-breath, breathing in and out. Every in-breath, life, every exhale, a little death, and so it goes. Here and now, in this moment within us and between us all, we contain the inner sources of rebirth. Reverend Rob Hardy's once, in a sermon he called Born Again and Again and Again, talked about seeing a bumper sticker that said Born Again. And then he reflected on this bumper sticker and the meaning and how he engaged with it. Now, this was actually at General Assembly in 2005. General Assembly is the annual meeting of the Unitarian Universalist Association, where thousands of Unitarian Universalists gather and we do things, including sing and hear fabulous sermons. It was a transition time for me. I had just lost my beloved Lil, my little kitty, at 9 years old. I was sitting next to my minister who had lost her husband, and we held hands as we heard Rob speak. And he said, "Isn't life always calling us to rebirth? When a loved one dies and we find the strength to go on, we are born again. When we come out of the closet and find the strength to be openly who we are born again. With each rebirth, that transforming love takes hold of our heart, our battered old heart, and stretches it further than we thought it could stretch." And he said he prefers to see that we are born again and again and again. And aren't we? At this pause, the vernal equinox, we do also seek for balance. Breathe. Even though there's only a moment of perfect balance between light and dark, the lesson is for us to pause in those times when we're in need of balance. This reminds us that we can do that. Turning outward, we embrace and embody new life. I mark the seasonal shifts with a pause at least, but a little bit more than a pause. I redo my altar at home, some of which you have with you. Sometimes I like to clean closets and deep clean and let go of things. Spring cleaning is a thing for a reason. There's a desire to clear away all the unnecessary stuff of life in more ways than one, I think. Certainly it felt like spring when I went through my belongings to move here a year ago and looked at the stuff that I needed to release and what I needed to clean out of my life. It's a way of making space for something new to come in. And it's not just about stuff. My word for the year at the winter solstice was transformation, as I've mentioned before. And so I'm working with the word at this time of the year to say, what is being born in me? What is coming up for me that needs to be transformed or that will lead to transformation? Sometimes we don't always know that. That's why we travel the wheel, so we're prepared when it comes. I'm going to invite you to go ahead and take a good look at this image. And I think you have a bigger image than I see in the back. Do you see the beautiful red branches? Do you see the blue and the green? There was water and there was green. The depth of that image is an invitation. And can y'all see the little buds? Can you see them from where you are? There's little buds there, y'all. So as you're comfortable, I invite you to engage with the image, to breathe, to hold your seeds. Beloved, what do you want to bring into your life? What are you leaving behind? Do you see ahead? Where do you need balance in your life? What is the deepest desire of your soul in this moment? Pause, breathe, listen, hear, know, turn. In the season of the outward spiral, we turn our attention toward living out that to which we're called. And don't worry, you don't have to live it out every minute of every day, because even in the course of our days, we have those moments that are inward and outward. But this is what we call the time for mind, clarity, insight, inspiration, understanding ourselves and the world. It tells us this, not to be afraid of some change, to sing and rejoice, to live for ourselves and beyond into the world soul. A time of trust, renewal, clearing away, rebirth, hope, assured of the continuity of life and thus our hopes and dreams. This is a time of manifestation, of right speech, new adventures, embodied beloveds. I invite you to open yourself to new possibilities, to take the big risks that sing for a world that's broken, and if your heart is broken. These are sandhill cranes. Some of you have heard me tell the story of my very first day on the job. Pam and I walked outside. It was the middle of the day, and all of a sudden, I think there was someone with us, and someone said, "Listen." And there was, again, no, I was going to ask someone to do it. Do it, do it. That's what it sounded like. And they're like, "Look up." And so I looked up, and like I could barely see. That's why this shot is so amazing, because I could just barely see these little dots of these sandhill cranes. And then we were still talking about the sandhill cranes, and I shouldn't name a name because I might get it wrong, but I think Suzanne Williams came and got out of her car and said, "Did you see the sandhill cranes?" So we stopped and did it again. Do that. Do that. Listen for those. Again. I'm totally in love with a congregation that makes bird noises in the middle of my sermon. I am. I knew you would do it. I took a chance. But you did it before I even asked you to, and that's why I love you. Take chances, be bold, make hill crane noises whenever you feel like it. Take risks, open to the possibilities of new life amidst everything. And know, open to the promise of this day. Amen. And I love you.
Thinking of the rebirth in spring and all of the blessings that this church brings us, we come to the offertory. We gather each week to affirm our community, to affirm that together we are more than we would ever be alone. We gather knowing that we will be seen, heard, and known, and offer that to all who would find companionship with us. We gather to be transformed and to help transform the world toward hope. We share our offering as a living out of our values and as the spiritual practice of stewardship. I invite you to share in these offering words. This church is made up of all of us. It is what we learn together, the work we do together, the fun we have together. It is what we share with one another, with the people around us, and with the world. We now gratefully receive your contribution. Thank you in advance for your generosity. Please join in these words to extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of its truth, the warmth of this community, nor the fire of our commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world.
So I was thinking about how we wanted to close. And I could just think about the light that's returning. Even though I'm still a little bitter about losing the hour, there is more light, and I love watching the light change as it goes through my house and the various exposures. But I also know this, that we're called to be a light. And you know what? I can see your light. I can look at you. Believe me when I say, I see your light. So let's sing it, y'all. Yeah, you could clap for that. You could clap for that. Amen, amen. Though the service has ended, our service to the world begins.
This is my favorite song about waiting for spring, and it's called Spring Can Really Hang You Up the Most.
want to come and get some seeds, Dave packaged these seeds. There's seeds for you. And if you want to come and get a word, y'all, if you need a word, I got a word. But come on up if you'd like.